Welcome to Smart Income Masters, where we help you make money smarter.
Glad to be here.
Today, we're diving deep into AI agents. It's a topic that's definitely generating a lot of buzz, and, well, for good reason.
Absolutely.
If you want to understand what they actually are and
Mhm.
why they matter,
Hmm.
for future opportunities, this is the place we're going to cut through the hype
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
and just give you the core stuff, definitions, how they work, the key designs, and a look at what might be coming. So if you want more insights like this to make smarter moves, definitely hit that subscribe button.
Okay, so let's jump in. AI agents. Yeah, the conversation around them can be a bit confusing at first, right?
Right.
Because it's a new field, things are evolving. So let's clarify what makes them different. What we're talking about here is fundamentally different from just, simple one-shot interactions with AI.
Like asking ChatGPT to write an essay in one go, that kind of thing.
Exactly that. That's more of a direct transaction, a non-agentic workflow. It's linear, start to finish. AI agents, or maybe more accurately, agentic workflows, operate with, well, more sophistication.
More sophistication out. You mean they're iterative?
Precisely. Instead of that straight line, think of it as a cycle. It might think, then maybe do some research, produce an output, and then critically revise that output.
Ah, okay. So it's more like how we actually tackle complex problems. We loop back, we refine things.
Yes. Think about that essay example again. An agent might start with an outline, then maybe research key points online, draft a section, look at it, identify weaknesses, maybe search for more info, and then revise. It's a dynamic process. It's self-improving in a way.
Gotcha. So is this the truly autonomous AI we hear about? Making decisions all by itself?
Well, that's sort of the long-term dream, the aspiration, but honestly, we're not quite there yet. Right now, the real focus is on building these much more capable agentic workflows that have, let's say, increasing levels of autonomy.
Okay, that makes sense. It's about intelligent, iterative processes,
Mm-hmm.
maybe with some self-direction baked in. So how are these workflows actually structured? I heard there are like 4 main design patterns.
Yes, exactly. 4 fundamental concepts that are pretty widely accepted now. The first one is reflection.
Reflection.
Think of our little mnemonic, red turtles, paint murals. Reflection is the red. It's essentially the AI's ability to uh, carefully review its own results,
Correct.
critically.
Right, like self-auditing its own work. So maybe an AI writes some code,
Hmm.
and then it's prompted, or maybe it prompts itself, to check that code for correctness, style, efficiency, and even fix its own mistakes.
Precisely. And you can even extend that. Imagine one AI prompting another AI to reflect on its output. That's multi-agent reflection, one guiding another's improvement.
Interesting. Okay, so that's red. What about turtles?
Turtles stands for tool use. This one's maybe a bit more intuitive.
Giving the AI tools,
Yeah.
like a hammer?
Huh. Well, maybe not a physical hammer. But digital tools, yes. Equipping the AI with access to external capabilities really expands what it can do. It helps break down complex tasks.
Okay, like what kind of tools?
Well, web search is a big one. Need the best coffee maker, according to recent reviews. An AI with a search tool can find and summarize that for you.
Right.
Or maybe calculating compound interest, say $100 at 7% for 12 years. Instead of just guessing, it can use a code execution tool to run the actual calculation.
So real-world actions or data access.
Exactly. We're seeing tools for object detection in images, generating web pages, accessing your email or calendar. Lots of possibilities.
Okay, makes sense. So red is reflection, turtles is tool use, what's paint?
Paint is for planning and reasoning. This is about the AI figuring out the steps and, crucially, which tools it needs to use to actually achieve a given task.
It's just the strategy part.
Sort of, yeah. It's the thinking before the doing. For example, imagine you want an image of a girl reading a book, but you want her in the exact same pose as a boy in a photo you provide.
Okay.
Right. The AI needs to plan. First, analyze the pose in the input image. Second, generate the new image with the girl in that pose. Third, maybe describe the new image using text. Fourth, use a text-to-speech tool to say that description aloud. It's a chain of steps using different models or tools.
Got it. Planning the sequence and resources. And the last one, murals.
Mural stands for multi-agent systems. This is where you use multiple AI agents, often with different roles or specializations, to collaborate on a project.
Like building a team.
Exactly like a human team. If you have specialists working together, maybe one agent is good at research, another at writing, another at editing, you often get much better results than just using a single generalist AI.
And research backs this up.
Yes, there's growing evidence that these multi-agent collaborative workflows can significantly outperform single AI approaches for complex tasks.
Okay, red turtles, paint murals, reflection, tool use, planning, multi-agents. That's actually pretty helpful. So
Yeah.
where are we seeing these patterns used in, practical ways?
Oh, they're enabling some pretty impressive things already. Think about analyzing a photo from a soccer game to automatically identify and count all the players on the field.
Okay, image analysis.
Or processing a video, maybe splitting it into 5-second clips, finding the exact clip where a goal is scored, and then displaying the relevant frames.
Wow, that's very specific. Useful for media sports.
Definitely. And beyond those, think bigger picture for, our listeners interested in smart income. We're seeing AI-powered research assistants digging through market data,
Right.
AI writers helping create content way faster, AI coders assisting developers, even really advanced personal assistants that can manage complex schedules and tasks.
So lots of potential applications. But you still need good prompts, right? Even with these agents.
Oh, absolutely. Prompt engineering doesn't go away. It actually becomes even more crucial in some ways to effectively guide these more complex agentic systems.
Good point. Okay, let's zoom in a bit on those multi-agent systems, the murals. You said this is a particularly active area.
It really is. Lots of breakthroughs happening here. But to really get multi-agent setups, it helps to first think about the building blocks of just a single AI agent.
Okay.
Let's use another mnemonic for this. Tired Alpaca's Mix T. It stands for Task, Answers, Models, Tools.
Tired alpacas mixed tea.
Okay.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Break that down.
So every single agent generally has a specific task it's designed to perform. It aims to produce certain answers or outputs. It uses an underlying AI model, like a specific language model, and it has access to certain tools.
Task, answers, models, tools. TAMT. Can you give an example?
Sure, let's imagine a travel planner agent. Its task could be plan a 3-day trip to Tokyo on a budget of $1,000. The answer you want is a detailed itinerary, cost breakdown, maybe even booking confirmations.
Right?
The model might be, say, GPT-4 or Claude 3, and its tools could include access to Google Maps, Skyscanner for flights, Booking.com for hotels, maybe even securely stored payment info to make reservations.
Okay, tired alpacas mixed tea. Task, answers, models, tools. That defines one agent. So how do you scale that up?
Right.
To multiple agents.
Well, the simplest multi-agent system is just two AI agents working together. They might have individual tasks that contribute to a larger shared goal, or they might collaborate more directly on the same task.
Like a writer agent and an editor agent.
Exactly. The writer drafts, the editor reviews and refines, they work together. And their tools might be specific to their role, or they might share some common tools. When you get more than two involved, people often start calling it a crew.
A crew. I like that. An AI crew working on something. What are some common ways these crews get organized, different structures?
Yeah, there are several established patterns emerging. One is the sequential pattern. Think of it like an assembly line.
Okay.
One agent does its part, and its output becomes the input for the next agent in line. Imagine processing a document. Maybe Agent 1 extracts the raw text, Agent 2 summarizes it, Agent 3 identifies action items, and Agent 4 saves those items to a database, step by step.
A linear flow, agent to agent. Makes sense. What else?
Then there's the hierarchical pattern. This is more like a traditional org chart. You have a leader or a manager agent.
An AI manager.
Kind of. It supervises several sub-agents. Each sub-agent has a specific task, and they report their results back up to the manager agent. For instance, generating a business report.
How would that work?
The manager agent might assign one sub-agent to analyze market trends, another to analyze customer sentiment from reviews, a third to look at internal sales metrics. They all feed their findings back to the manager, who then compiles the final report, or maybe even makes a decision based on the inputs.
Top-down structure.
Got it.
Any others?
There are hybrid systems, which, as the name suggests, kind of mix sequential and hierarchical structures. They often include feedback loops, making them more adaptable. Autonomous vehicles are a good example.
How so?
You might have a top-level agent planning the overall route, but it's constantly getting feedback from sub-agents handling sensor fusion, collision avoidance, analyzing road conditions, and so on. They all interact and feed information back and forth.
More dynamic, more complex.
Definitely. And you also have parallel agent systems. Here, agents work independently on different parts of the same task simultaneously. Think large-scale data analysis. You could have multiple agents, each processing a chunk of data in parallel, and then the results get merged at the end. faster processing.
Not a goat and cocker.
Right. And finally, asynchronous systems. These agents also work independently, but maybe at different times or intervals. This is good for situations with uncertainty, like cybersecurity. You might have agents constantly monitoring network traffic, others looking at user behavior patterns, maybe some doing random penetration testing, all working asynchronously and flagging anomalies when found.
Wow. Okay, so lots of ways to structure these crews. Sequential, hierarchical, hybrid, parallel, asynchronous. You can even link entire systems together, right? Create really complex flows.
Absolutely. The potential complexity is huge. But it's worth remembering, just like with human organizations, increasing complexity can sometimes lead to, well, more chaos, or at least less directly predictable interactions between all the parts.
That's a good analogy. The bigger the company, the harder it is to know exactly what everyone's doing. Now, this sounds powerful, but maybe complicated to build. I heard it's possible to create some of these multi-agent workflows even without writing code.
Yes, that's a really exciting development. No-code platforms are making this technology much more accessible. You can absolutely build multi-agent systems visually.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Imagine creating a personal assistant that works through Telegram. Let's call it InkyBot. You could text it or even send it a voice message.
Okay.
And InkyBot could connect to your Google Calendar. So you could ask it, hey, Inky, what do I need to focus on today? Or schedule a meeting with the marketing team for tomorrow afternoon.
And it would understand that natural language.
Yep. The workflow might look like this. Telegram message comes in. That's the trigger. If it's voice, a transcription tool converts it to text. That text then goes as input to the main InkyBot AI agent.
Okay, and what's the InkyBot agent setup using the tired alpaca thing?
Right. Its task is taking your natural language queries about your schedule and to-dos. The answer it provides is, say, a prioritized list for the day or confirmation that an event has been scheduled.
Model.
The model would be a capable language model, and its key tools would be functions to get calendar events and create calendar events via the Google Calendar API.
So even with a no-code tool, you can build a genuinely useful assistant by hooking up an agent to the right APIs or tools.
Exactly. And the beauty is you could then easily add more agents, maybe an agent that summarizes emails or one that drafts replies. You can build out sophisticated workflows without needing to be a programmer. It really unlocks a lot of potential.
This is all incredibly insightful, thanks. Looking towards the future then, what are some of the big opportunities you see emerging with AI agents, especially for our listeners, thinking about where to innovate or invest?
There's one key insight I came across that really resonated. The idea is basically this. For every SaaS company, there will be a corresponding AI agent company.
Wow. Okay, say that again.
For every SaaS company, there will be a corresponding AI agent company. Think about what that implies. For basically every software as a service tool we use now.
Like Adobe, Microsoft, Salesforce, Shopify, all those big names.
Exactly. For every single one, there's a potential opportunity to build an AI agent or maybe a crew of agents that perform similar functions, but perhaps in a more automated, intuitive, or proactive way.
That's a huge perspective shift. So people could literally look at successful SaaS businesses today as inspiration for AI agent businesses tomorrow.
That's the core idea. It suggests a massive landscape for potential innovation and new ventures. Think about a vertical AI unicorn equivalent for each major SaaS category. It's a powerful guiding principle for where things might be heading.
So as you can see, you should now have a really solid grasp on AI agents from, the basic definitions all the way to these complex multi-agent systems and even a glimpse of that future landscape.
Yeah, we've definitely unpacked quite a bit today. We hit those key design patterns, reflection, tool use, planning, multi-agents, looked at practical applications, and touched on that really exciting potential for innovation ahead.
We really hope this deep dive sparked some aha moments for you and maybe saved you a whole lot of research time trying to piece this all together. It's a field moving incredibly fast.
It certainly is.
So if you found this informative and you want to stay ahead of the curve with more deep dives designed to help you make money smarter, please make sure you subscribe right now.
Thanks for tuning in.